Hello, everyone. KJ here, looking over a few things that I thought was quite interesting, and seeing that it's a beautiful day here in Tennessee, and it's been quite some time since I have gotten with all y'all on the porch here. I had to get my fountain going again after winter. Had to take the pump out of it so it wouldn't bust during the freezing winter there, and had to put all that back together. Got little Opie out here with me. If he comes over here to get up in my lap, you might just be interested to know that Opie's looking a little different these days, y'all. For those that visit the community wall, uh, I posted a picture of him, the sweetest little furry mess that he is, playing with his toy. We had our traveling dog groomer come over, and because of his poodle fur, it was getting matted. Even after I'd give him baths, I'd comb him down, but somehow the mats would get close to his skin and pinch him. So we had to do a little of adjusting, and hopefully he'll come over here in a minute. I'm not going to bother him right now because he's sitting here playing with his toy, sitting on his little muffin here. But anyway, good day, everyone. I don't know what time it is there. Vix Tex, Jennifer Sukup, Lynn Forsberg. Y'all get an eyeful yesterday with Ole KJ, huh? I've said it many, many times. I love to keep people guessing. It's always been about getting justice through understanding. And in my way, it's just being able to think on your feet and hope something good comes out of something, you know? That's really the whole plan. Hello, Madonna. How are you? Chris Arnett. Yes, Vix Tex. What's everybody up to today? Everybody having a good day or evening? You know, I can't do all the chatting by myself. You got to get in the comments and talk to me and tell me what's going on in your world. All I know is the leaves are starting to come out on the trees now, y'all. I've been waiting for this. I suffer from seasonal depression like there ain't no tomorrow. And always trying to do something to cheer myself up. Hello, Tina. How are you? Well, there's all kinds of news going on in the crime genre community. No matter where you look, you're going to find something interesting. Does anybody want to share anything with me today? What have you learned? What have you learned in any of these criminal trials that you are watching? VixTech says, never a dull moment in Houston. Chris Arnett says, cooking low-carb pancakes for my hubby. He was in a motorcycle accident and is home from work for a while. Oh, my goodness, Chris. That's awful. I hope is he going to be okay? I mean, what happened? I mean, did he break something? Did he pull something? Did he get road rash? What happened? I'd like to hear it. You know, Lynn Forsberg said before the stream started, that she was glad that it was a porch chat. And it brought me back to those times growing up where everything that was entertaining happened on the porch. I mean, it wasn't like it is today where we've all got it. I confess it. We all get our faces stuck in our phones or on our computer screens and all that. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know there was a time when you were outside and neighbors or people would come to your house without calling or anything. They'd come and step up on the porch, and you just sat real quiet as your parents and the big folk talked. Well, thank you, Josie. I appreciate that. I was born here in Tennessee, raised here. I am college educated, but it hasn't helped with my southern slang. As the Rays know, there are times that I can't even put a pronunciation together on certain words. Akshay Dorade, it is 11:05 in the morning. And that's not morning to me. Morning is like 5 a.m. in the morning. But since Ole KJ has always had a problem with sleep, my time gets off here and there, and I end up screwing myself out of a good morning of doing something. You know, getting out here in the yard, you know, planting or just spending time with my dog, you know. Yes, Liam Forsberg, being on the porch felt free and cozy. You know, some people didn't get raised on porches, you know. Some had stoops, and others just, you know, didn't have that. Chris Arnett says her husband's leg is banged up. He slid on the gravel, ran into a guardrail. He rode into a creek. The ambulance took him to the hospital. The road rash he got is infected, and his leg is insanely painful. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Chris. I mean, I hope they're giving him something good. They better give him some good stuff. That's all I got to say. Hello, Cindy Bullock. In India, it is 9:36 p.m., y'all. Everybody in the world is in a different time zone, obviously. Duh. But just think, you know, how do you feel and how do you look at life like in the morning or at night? Is it the same way? Nah. I bet it is kind of the same 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in those artificially lighted jails that these criminals are in. Just think about that. I mean, that's got to throw their dang time clock off. And then they got all the screaming and the banging of the doors and routines where Lori's got to get in line. You know, she's a goddess, you know. She's got to get in line to go to get her something to eat, and she better just whatever they're serving, she, you know, whether it's shit on a shingle, whatever it is, she better pretend that it's goddess food, right? VixTech says, to all out there, we are all connected. Isn't that awesome? That's the one thing that I will say about this world inside of a world. If you would have asked me 30 years ago that we would be able to do this, me sitting on my porch right now and talking to all of y'all, I would have laughed. Hello, Mr. M. How are you? Did you get a kick out of KJ's theatrics yesterday? Oh, for those that don't know what we're talking about, sorry, I had to delete the vids. I knew that the people that really wanted to see it or really wanted to hang out and was curious about all that, those were the ones that I was focused on, and so I wasn't going to keep it up. Was it pretty lively, Mark? Well, have any of y'all been to Nate Eaton's Courtroom Insider today or yesterday when he went live? He was going over a bunch of legal documents, motions that Lori had filed, and it was amusing to say the least. Hello, Carly. How are you? I've been to England. I went up to Yorkshire and stayed with my brother on Menwith Hill Air Force Base up there for a while. That was a very, very fun time. Went down to London, went to see Buckingham Palace, Big Ben. I went all the way down to the south there, saw Stonehenge. It was incredible country. But there wasn't much sunlight when I was there. Kind of makes you think about that brand of clothing, London fog. I mean, it just, and everybody in England that I saw wore black shoes. Now, maybe it was because of the season that I came there or whatever, but everybody was wearing black shoes. That was weird. Carly says it's not raining today. Oh, it's beautiful here, y'all. It is beautiful today. I mean, all we need is the lushness of the leaves to fill out the trees. Give us some shade and let the beauty of nature take over, and I'm waiting for it. It's a little crisp in the air, but probably by this afternoon it'll be about 62, 64 degrees. Well, hello, Fancy Nancy. How are you? Zelda uses a light panel, I guess, to get the, I don't know, the vitamin D or something that makes you not get so depressed. Hello, Beach Lady. So, we're going to talk about that, about Lori's filings. Now, I'm not going to go into depth with it, but there is something I do want to bring up that I thought was interesting, and I know the Rays would find it interesting, is Kevin Franke got his divorce. Kevin Franke got his divorce from Ruby. And I just thought that with thinking about that and the fact that they're Mormon and they believe that once they're sealed that they're going to be together in the afterlife and all that as husband and wife, you know, like I said, whatever anyone believes, their own deal. I met a woman when I was in Idaho with Mr. Wayne. Y'all, the Rays remember when we went to Idaho. Remember we went to the old penitentiary, walked through there, just went all over Idaho there, went down Ada County, went into the courthouse and all that just to check it out. But anyway, I met this woman, and she told me that her and her husband, they're Mormon, she told me that they got a divorce, and the only way, because she remarried, and he remarried, the only way that she could not be his wife in the afterlife is if he agreed to that. You know, and they went to their bishop and they did some paperwork or something. And she said that he did not want to do it. So in her beliefs and in her faith, she, even though she loves the man she's married to now and her ex-husband loves the woman he's with now, she says she is stuck with that asshole in the afterlife because that's what she called him. And I thought, wow, you know, and I got to thinking about Kevin Franke and Ruby Franke. And I thought, well, you know, I guess they're going to be together for all eternity. But just to give y'all an idea of what the whole situation there is, the divorce decree in Utah that was signed and it's already gone through. The divorce said it was due to irreconcilable differences. And everyone's familiar with that. I imagine most states in the United States have that way of getting a divorce. You know, there's no fault divorce, and there's irreconcilable differences, and then there's these messy ass divorces and all of that. But it seems they have their irreconcilable differences, okay? And Kevin Franke's attorney submitted his stipulation to the court on March the 3rd. And the 4th District Judge Roger Griffin signed a divorce decree for the couple last Thursday. Based on a previous order from the 4th District Juvenile Court, Kevin Franke was given full custody of the 4 children who are still minors. Ruby Franke is ordered not to have contact with the children. What are you doing? Here. All right, y'all. I'll get back to it in a minute, but y'all are going to be so mad at me. But I got to show y'all this. You know how you think one thing, you see Ole KJ dressed up as an 80s freaking aerobics dancer acting like a damn idiot. And then the next minute you see me sitting here, this old lady on the porch. How about Opie? Y'all look at Opie. Look at him. He don't look like the same dog. I know. Look at him, y'all. Look at Opie. Look at him. He's been shaved down, y'all. Look at his little Barney Fife legs. He just looks like a totally different dog, but it's Opie, y'all. Isn't he sweet? I know some of you are like, KJ, I can't believe you shaved off all that beautiful curly hair of his. Well, folks, he had mats that was pinching him, and I couldn't keep them off of him. And the groomer said that, that it's healthy. This is his first real haircut. And besides that, 2 days from now, he's going to get neutered. And they're going to have to shave his belly anyway, so, or down there, And so, isn't he sweet, JoJo? He's still Opie. But anyway, so, back to this. So, Ruby Franke is serving a 4-year sentence of 1 to 15 years, so she could at least stay in for 4 years. Kevin Franke agreed to consider any child support payments owed to him by Ruby Franke is already paid. The courts typically require child support in cases of full custody, but he's like, oh, it's already paid up. So he doesn't want nothing from her, okay? Or at least legally. The couple agreed their Springville home would be transferred to Kevin Franke along with a 2.8-acre property in Schofield, Carbon County. So she's not going to have a home to come out of, even if she does get out in 4 years, y'all. Under the divorce agreement, Ruby Franke will keep about $85,000 she withdrew from the financial accounts. She stole, basically, out, to give to Jody. $85,000 she withdrew from financial accounts when she stopped living with her husband, but any other financial accounts outside of an investment account under Ruby Franke's name will be given entirely to Kevin Franke. And none of us know what's in those accounts, and really it is what it is. Neither party is asking for alimony from the other, agreeing they each have the resources to care for their needs. Also, y'all, Ruby Franke intends to keep her last name of Franke rather than change her name to her maiden name. She wants to keep the name Franke, y'all. And again, they're Mormon. You want my opinion? I'll tell you my opinion. At some point down the road when she gets out, they're going to make their way back to one another, one way or the other. I just have this feeling about that. I don't think Kevin Franke's going to go on and marry someone else or move on with his life without her. I think with their kids and everything else, they're going to somehow get back together, I think. Yes, NF Mom. I had that feeling. I feel like Kevin Franke had to do this divorce for more than one reason. One reason, he looks so foolish to have done what he done, go along with all that. Y'all know how I feel about it. He should have never left in the first place. He should have put his foot down and told her if she wanted to leave and go hang out with Jody, go for it, but he was going to stay in the home. But no, no, no. I mean, if he was so, oh, Jody's bad and everything, why freaking leave? Why not stay there and be a man? And, you know, some will say, well, KJ, he was just doing what Jody wanted him to do because she was the professional. But that's what I think. I think that he had to divorce her basically just to gain some self-respect, and then also to show the courts that he was serious about keeping Ruby out of the kids' life and all that. I'm going to tell you what. Forgiveness is forgiveness, and people can forgive, and who am I to know whether Franke is truly remorseful or not? None of that's my business. This divorce ain't my business. I have a bigger point in bringing it up. But, you know, he's just going to have to, if he brings her back into those kids' lives after they've had that kind of trauma in their life, you know, you got to think about that. Is it healthy? You know, people say, well, that's their mother. Of course, she needs to be rehabilitated so that she can go back and be the mother she should have been and all this and that. But folks, I'm not saying those kids should just block her out for the rest of their lives. That would be awful. That'd be miserable. But there absolutely needs to be a professional way in terms of therapy or something that's ongoing for a long period of time before they just jump back in the sack with one another. Well, Rachel Black, the divorce decree says that she's not to have contact with the kids. It doesn't say she doesn't get to have contact with the kids for a year or 10 years or anything like that. So that's written in the divorce decree. So legally, if she agreed on that and the judge signed off on it, she's legally never supposed to see him again unless they petition the family court again down the road, say 10, 15 years down the road. And by that time, the kids are grown. They can make up their own mind what they want to do. If her kids being adults after she gets out or whatever, or if she stays away once she gets out and they become adults, though their adult decisions are not binding on Kevin and Ruby's divorce. Because they're adults, they'll be adults, and they can make up their own decision. Janelle says, I don't think that things could ever be better, even if Kevin wanted to go back to her. He would be better moving on. Fancy Nancy, oh, we're getting some interesting comments. Y'all know, do y'all remember that? Y'all remember a time when we could get together and nobody bothered us? I don't know why YouTube is punishing me. I'm not asking for anything. I'm not monetizing. I'm not doing anything other than just getting together here. And it just seems like and I can't put it on private because that wouldn't be right, because I don't know who thinks what. And it's not for me to figure that out on top of it all. Jenny Benny says, hi, KJ. I miss Porch Talks and the fountain and an occasional cig. Yes, Fancy Nancy. Those were the good old days. Vix Tech says, I don't understand YouTube. I don't either. You know, I have figured out going through the channel list, the catalog here, that YouTube has started running some ads on some of these vids, these lives, these pre-records and stuff like that. I have nothing to do with that. I don't get a penny of anything that they've got to get something from me to allow me to use their platform. So fine. But in terms of me paying YouTube any money, I don't do that. I don't do it. I guarantee you, if I paid money to YouTube, like a membership or whatever, and updated everything, I'd have way more subscribers, which y'all know it isn't because I want them. It isn't because that's the point or anything. All I'm saying is YouTube's not going to give me anything except for the platform, right? Hello, Lena Howry. I like to see y'all talking to one another in here. Jet Set J, good morning, everyone. I don't understand how YouTube works either. I hope your channel grows and grows because I think you're a wonderful person and I like your content. How sweet is that? Well, guess what? Guess what? This channel is successful because you're the one that brings Ole KJ the content by your comments, your thoughts, your opinions. You know? I mean, I can get on here all I damn well want. It doesn't mean that anybody's got to hear anything I've got to say, but, you know, it really is about you. It really is. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Tiffany. Savannah, Georgia. 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 I want to get out of Georgia. Get me out of Georgia. And that's just a Tennessee basketball fan there. Georgia, Alabama. Right, Denise Gray. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it on this channel and we've seen it on other channels. It's nothing new here in terms of how people come on here and say mean things. Tiffany, I am in like the southeast part of Tennessee. I'm in Coffee County. That's where I'm at. I'm about 45 minutes away from Nashville. Most people know about Nashville, you know, the country music capital of the world. So anyway, that divorce is final. And then it was like, well, why even bring it up? Quit it now, Opie. Opie, stop. He's trying to get up on the screen here. But anyway, back to this Kevin Franke, Ruby Franke divorce and everything. And then I told y'all about this woman down in Idaho. And then how many times have we brought it up over the years about, well, if Lori was going to throw Chad under the bus or Chad was going to throw Lori under the bus or whatever, and why ain't they getting a divorce? And then Lori, when she had her interview with Keith Morrison there, she, you know, Chad is her husband and all of this and that. And I thought, what would it be like for them if, and I know this is just for sake of argument, but I just think it's fascinating. So they're married. Well, they weren't sealed, I guess, officially, like church there did not officially seal them in the temple. They did their own thing because, you know, they think they're better than any church procedure or anything like that. But in their minds, they're married and they're going to be in the afterlife together as husband and wife and stuff. And I got to thinking about that. Marty McFly says Opie's trying to say that Aunt B needs some help there. But anyway, so play that out in your head if you want. You don't have to. Maybe I'll just demonstrate it myself. Could you imagine them seeing each other in the afterlife? And being husband and wife, knowing what they've done, how sick, how twisted, knowing that they both have blood on their hands, child murderers, serial killers. And, you know, you could take this afterlife, you know, if you want to say heaven, I don't see that happening. Not unless they have some kind of real come to Jesus moment, you know, or some kind of remorse or, you know, confessing it or something. I just, you know, if they're going to stay the way they are, but wouldn't it be funny as hell if Chad somehow was able to file divorce papers because he's on death row, and how that would make Lori look. Right, Vix Tex. Vix Tex says about talking about Tammy, because, Chad, when he goes wherever he's going, Tammy's going to be there, and it's going to be his wife. And then again, when we talk about this woman in Idaho that told me a true story about her life, told me that her and her husband got a divorce and he remarried. So I'm thinking, okay. And I asked her, I said, so he's going to have two. He's going to have the wife now that, he's going to have you too. And these people are talking about they don't believe in polygamy or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't square with me. The reason it doesn't square with me is really a bigger issue for me. And that is when it talks about the bride and the groom in Holy Scripture, that is supposed to be symbolic of Jesus's love for the church, right? So, how can that square, with all of that? It doesn't. There's no way to make sense of that, because things that don't make sense usually are just nonsense, things that you try to play it out in your head, but it doesn't seem to do what it does. Janelle says, I would hate to be Chad and have to look Tammy in the eyes, and there would be no room for lies. All will be revealed, says Janelle. Yeah, I think about Lori's BS about, how Tylee and JJ are busy and Tammy's busy and she knows where they're at, what they're doing, and they visit her and all this and that. Could you imagine if that was actually true? Her children who she murdered visiting her in her jail cell? Y'all, that's about as creepy as it gets. That's about as creepy and scary as it gets. Of course we know that can't be real. It might be just as real can be to her. And I hope it is, but not the way she's wanting to look at it. She's wanting it to look like, Mom, you didn't do anything wrong. Well, what if? Y'all, this is just sake of argument stuff. That this came true for her, that her kids visited her, or Tammy visited her. I would think that they would be like, why? Why did you murder me? Why did you do this? Person of interest sums it up. Trying to make sense of Mormon theology can drive you mad. You're right. You're right. So anyway, y'all, Chad and Lori actually being a husband and wife in the afterlife, in my opinion, and y'all know me, and you can believe or not believe any damn thing you want. That's your right, your business, and I can respect that, okay? But in my view, it's a crock of shit, okay? It's just a crock of shit. If Ruby goes on to marry someone else, or for all we know, Ruby has decided she's going to try women. She slept in the same bed with Jody, right? Well, for sake of argument, she gets out of jail there after 4 years. She's had plenty of time around other women that kind of are like that. And she goes off and she marries another woman. And and Kevin Franke goes and marries somebody. I mean, are they still going to... I mean, y'all, this is the way I see it, okay? Heaven is not a place where you're going to be reminded of this earth, because to be reminded while you're in heaven of earth, it's going to make you sad because you can't be with the people you love. I mean, and no one's sad in heaven, in my opinion, in my faith. So, some people believe that doesn't square with me. Leon says Lori's trial starts April 7th through May the 9th. Supposedly, yes. I was going to get to that, Sandra. That's the day before. Opening statements are on April the 7th. They're going to have that jury selection stuff that none of us are going to get to actually witness or anything like that, but I'm sure we'll get updates from Nate Eaton and Justin Lum. Fancy Nancy says, I never got to be a housewife, and I just love it. All Things Possible says in Matthew chapter 22, verse 30, Jesus states that in the resurrection, people will neither marry nor be given into marriage, but are like the angels of God in heaven, implying that marriages, as we know it, will not. Well, there you go, y'all. That's coming from Scripture, not the Book of Mormon. I mean, I've not read the Book of Mormon, so I don't know what they might have something similar to it in there. I don't know. Thank you so much for that. All things are possible, says Fancy Nancy. So, switching from that to an update, a brief little blip in the Donna Adelson case. There was a 15-minute hearing yesterday. Adelson and her attorneys on both sides will be back in court Thursday afternoon. That's tomorrow, y'all. To discuss a book Wendy Adelson wrote a few years prior to the murder called This Is Our Story. Defense attorneys claim the storyline about a woman who felt stuck in Tallahassee isn't relevant, but prosecutors have previously argued it is autobiography, Defense attorneys are asking a judge to find it inadmissible at Donna Adelson's upcoming trial. They used that in Charlie Adelson's trial, Wendy's book, and if you've listened to any of Donna and Charlie's jail phone calls, she absolutely, between her and Charlie, figuring out what got him convicted in their own mind. Wendy's stupid book, says Charlie. Donna, she knows what Charlie told her was the reason that he didn't have a prayer in Tallahassee. That the way that Kappelman had portrayed Wendy's book is that everyone in Tallahassee was from Jerkwater, USA, and all of this stuff. So she's trying to eliminate whatever she can to have a better chance, but she cannot eliminate the fact that she and her hubby Harvey there was going to have a one-way ticket to Vietnam. And if you're so dang innocent, then why get your wills and your financial stuff together, and why say some of the things she said and all of that, all those emails? Again, that story from Wendy Adelson is autobiography. It's about Wendy. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out, considering how she's laid it out. What's a work of fiction where this woman is married to this professor, and she just so happens to be in real life married to a professor, and it's set in Florida, and all of this stuff. And Donna seems to think that that's just going to be inflammatory, but if it was able to be admitted in Charlie Adelson's trial, then it was relevant. And she just can shit in one hand and hope in another. Defense attorneys told the judges Tuesday they intend to file at least 7 more motions regarding the admissibility of evidence in weeks ahead. They also asked for the court's permission and got it to set conflicts. What's interesting about that, y'all, is court records show the defense is set to depose Charlie Adelson, which is Donna's son, at a state prison in South Dakota next month. The notice indicates prosecutors will be joining via Zoom. And what's interesting about this is that if anyone really followed the Donna Adelson case with Charlie Adelson, he took the stand and he brought out on the stand that after the fact, he said on the stand, he told his mother about the double extortion there, which is going to screw her because she's already, throughout it all, said that she knew nothing about it and all of this. Well, either Charlie's lying or he's telling the truth. And those prosecutors are going to be there when the defense deposes Charlie Adelson, and that's got to come up. Well, didn't you say, here's the transcript, Charlie, of your testimony where you said your mother knew about the extortion after the fact. What happened was he brought his mother into it thinking it wasn't going to matter because he thought he was going to get off the hook because they paid Dan Rashbaum out the ass and they thought that their money could buy him a not guilty conviction. But it backfired, and it's going to backfire. Yeah, I believe it says South Dakota. A state prison in South Dakota is what it says. This is from a news headline. Is it North Dakota? Do you know something different? Vix Tex? Yeah, fancy Nancy. Donna has screwed herself. Y'all, the reality is, honestly, everyone's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. I get it. But when, again, you look at the evidence and everything, there's going to be a conviction. And this woman is going to spend the rest of her life in prison, even if she got 20 years. I know people can live to be 100, but what I'm saying is that's effectively a life sentence. Even if she was to get less than life. When you think of life, a life sentence, some states, life is 25 years at least. People say, well, I thought a life sentence means they stay there and they never get out. Well, some states have a life without parole. Most states do, but some life is 25 years. The reason I know this is my brother's murderer, he got life, which was 25 years. So that's what happened. Yes, Mary Sadler, it will be life. Bronson, I've been to South Dakota, Mount Rushmore. Oh my gosh, you talking about driving through South Dakota, you looking everywhere you can just to find one tree. It's just as far as the eye can see. You might see a tree break on a farm where they get snow and that tree line is there to protect their barns or their homes. But it's way off in the distance. So people that are used to living in South Dakota come down here to Tennessee where there's trees everywhere. They're going to get claustrophobic as hell. They ain't going to, the whole thing about seeing the forest through the trees, Hi, Sandy Arnold. All Things Possible is a fellow South African here living in the UK. Well, there you go. Hi, Heather. All right, so let's tackle the hooker, the hussy, Lori Daybell. Let's tackle, listen, if you really want to get the lowdown If you haven't already, just go to Courtroom Insider. Nate Eaton has broke it down on things. I just have a few things I wanted to point out. So I'm not here to give breaking news or anything. I'm telling you, if you want to get the lowdown, the cliff notes, or whatever you want to call it, go to Courtroom Insider with Nate Eaton. He goes through her motions. Some of them are handwritten and all that. So these are some of the notes that I took from what I listened to Nate about. Lori filed another motion to dismiss, talking about prosecutorial misconduct with this, Trina K there. She wants to bring in Trina K's boyfriend, Juan Martinez, which many of you know was the prosecutor on the Joe Arias trial. To me, I'll say it again, he's the ultimate prosecutor. I wish that he could be prosecuting the hooker. But I don't know if she's still seeing Juan Martinez or not, but Lori's called Trina K's boyfriend. I mean, that is so stupid in a legal filing. It's almost like she just wants to cause the drama to get everybody ready for what she calls this being a worldwide audience. Like she's just the superstar, and she wants to make sure that people are talking about her and all that. Hell, we're sitting here talking about her right now, right? But I think, and this is just for me, the reason that it is so fascinating to me and why I keep studying this hooker is because I can't wait. I can't wait for what Canyon Jam has talked about when she goes back to Idaho. She's just going to become irrelevant. The only one that's really going to really study her from there is going to be like the FBI and other law enforcement agencies are going to use her as a template of the most evil, diabolical, serial killer woman there ever was, in my view. Yes, it's East Idaho News. You just go on YouTube, hit East Idaho News, and then when you look on there, it says Courtroom Insider. He goes through each one of those court documents. Fancy Nancy, thank you so much for keeping the comments clean in here. I appreciate that. So she's attacking Trina K, which is the prosecutor on her case, the state of Arizona there. And she is just out there, y'all. She's also saying that Trina K gave Nate Eaton some legal advice. Y'all, how stupid. How does she know? I mean, she's the one that says she's lived all these lives. She's a translated being. She's a freaking goddess, right? She's a warrior beyond the millennia. Where is she getting this information? Because the state's response, Nate Eaton covers it. Just like I said at that other live stream, I said this prosecutor's not going to do anything illegal. Lori can get her panties in a wad all she wants. She doesn't know. And this whole thing about her appellate attorney's communications with her and all this and that. Now, that's interesting because the state has not responded to that yet. It might have today, and I haven't gotten to it. Maybe it's been released. Maybe it hasn't been released yet. But Nate Eaton says that the state has not responded to that yet. I guess they're going to stick their legal boot right up her butt about it. That's some serious stuff. Lori's talking about she needs to be disbarred and she needs, to be taken off this case. Does this woman not want her speedy trial? Huh? She doesn't want to admit that she's in over her head. She doesn't want to go back on, I want my speedy trial. The last time she was in there, the judge even offered, maybe you should do a continuance if you want your stupid digital forensic expert there. Do that. Get a continuance so you can get your ducks in order. She will not go back and get another continuance, not because she is ready. She just ain't going to do it. And so she's trying to figure out other ways to stall this shit because she's in over her head. And the only way to do that is to what? shit all over the prosecutor. Y'all remember in Lori's trial back in Idaho, and even in Chad's, they tried to do what they could to, blemish the prosecuting team there, do everything they can to try to cause issues. Remember that whole situation with Mark Means and all of those things. So she is attacking Trina K over stuff that is blatantly false. There is no prosecutorial misconduct, but she's got to put it out there because she knows everyone's going to look at it. Sandra Vion, you and I are in agreement. I've done said it, y'all. It's going to get to a point where it's too hard for her. And she's going to throw her hands up in the air about it. And then what happens? According to Arizona law, her Daybell defense team will step up and take over. Does that mean they got to do it all over again? I don't know. I don't think so. I think they just go from where they're at. Virginia Lopez says, I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. The trial's going to be something, says Virginia. I'm retired and I'll see the whole thing, says Virginia. Well, good for you. Vixtex says, I really think Lori's looking forward to performing. Well, yeah, I mean, she's going to perform. But there's going to come a point where she's going to realize, I mean, like, for instance, some more news here. The state of Arizona has released the witness list, and I haven't had a real chance to really go over that, but Nate Eaton has expressed, most of them are like law enforcement or experts. Some of them are coming from Idaho, where they actually testified in Lori's last trial. But what is interesting to me is Lori has filed a motion to exclude some of the witnesses. Two in particular are very interesting, and that is Kay Woodcock and Christina Atwood. I think that, she's obviously she's saying that they don't have any firsthand knowledge or anything like that. In the state, they're saying, well, we're able to, put circumstantial evidence on or anything, like that. But I think she just does not want to face Kay Woodcock or Christina Atwood. Specifically Kay Woodcock, because Kay's going to bury her. Kay isn't even going to, it ain't even going to be personal for Kay. Stop it now. Quit. Come here. It's not even going to be personal for Kay sitting on the witness stand answering questions truthfully. Just whatever comes out of Kay Woodcock's mouth is going to bury her. And this Christina Atwood, I mean, I thought, yeah. I think about when she got with Ron Ball in her interview, Christina Atwood. And they were in that room, in that interview. You can look it up on YouTube. The woman is obviously y'all, I'm sorry. I mean, I know she's a state's witness, but I don't like Christina Atwood. I don't like any of them. They're all a bunch of liars. They want to distance themselves from the fact that they were puffing up Chad and Lori. Chad and Lori would have never been able to convince themselves that they were freaking lowercase g's or, Chad said he was the Holy Spirit at one time, which is blasphemy, by the way. But how can you believe what you want about yourself, but don't you have to have verification through others? I mean, you can walk through life. I can walk through life and think I'm a dog all I want, but there are going to be people out here, they're going to say, no, KJ, you're not a dog. You're a human being, These people, they absolutely was lifting Chad and Lori up. I mean, when they're getting on planes to go, oh, we've been called, we've been summoned. Give me a break. Give me a break. Janelle Murphy says, I think Kay should rightfully be there. She was Charles's sister and had much to do with this case. Right, Janelle. And Lori's trying to say in her filing that there's nothing there that Kay or Christina Atwood could testify that's going to do anything to prove the state's case. Well, guess what? Kay sure as hell testified in Lori's other trial, and she got convicted there. The bottom line is that Kay absolutely has got a lot to say about the way Lori was and what was going on. Yes, just me. I agree. I absolutely agree. With that being said, just me, when you say she's just there to cause pain, I agree. But what I am also going to say is in these filings, the state, Nate Eaton says they're not going to give her any plea agreement or even offer her one. So she better strap on the dang boots there and get them pulled up. Let's see. Oh, Vix Tech says, I love the fact that Tylee has so many moms now. Ollie Dawn, you say I always wanted to have a YouTube channel. We'll have one. I highly recommend anyone to share themselves with the world. You're going to be disappointed with a lot of people that are going to call you names or say mean and dirty and awful things about you. Those people don't matter because they don't matter to themselves. So you got to matter, like you got to care, like in a real good way about yourself. And if you do, you don't attack people, on social media and all that. That's cyberbullying. It's no different than being face to face with somebody. And in fact, it goes on more in this world inside of a world, a lot more, because these people are cowards and they wouldn't dare say some of the things they've said to me online to my face, like in my presence. They wouldn't do that. I promise you that. They wouldn't. If they did, God help them. So she wants some of these witnesses excluded. There is Lori's expert. And if you add that, Lori has a total of 11 witnesses on her list. Now, I haven't seen that. And Nate never spoke of Lori's witnesses. So I don't know if that's going to be released. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all know Lori's witness list. Because the state has disclosed their witness list. And it's out there now. Nate Eaton goes down each person and tells you who they are and what they're about. But I never heard anything about Lori's 10 witnesses. I'm assuming they're going to be witnesses, maybe Summer, Janice, someone in her family. I know Adam Cox is on the state's witness list. I mean, what's he going to say? He's going to absolutely have to explain. I wonder if Lori's going to ask Adam on the stand, okay, so Charles and you were going to get together and what was going to happen there? Was you going to do some kind of, try to shake me to my senses or something like that? Why didn't you help Charles? Lena Howery says, Lori says she don't want the camera focused on her all the time, but I think she loves the attention. Little Brands, or Little Bronze, Little Brian's. I thought it used to be Lilbrans, but am I saying it wrong? Oh my goodness. Librarian, excuse me. What the hell? Y'all, I'm not even awake. Librarians. Did you know, librarians, that I've had a lot of different things in terms of work in my life. There was a time that I was a clerk, too, at a public library. I wasn't a librarian, I was just a clerk 2. There's clerk 1, clerk 2. I used to sit behind them dang. I'd put all the books up and everything, but I'd be reading all day long. Hi, Finding NorCal. Jenny Benny says, I'd like to work at a library. Librarians, I couldn't pass the bar. No, my biggest problem is my logic. That's what I'm always working on. And the reason I know it's my logic is because math is a logical thing. It's just logic. And I suck in math. I'm good on a calculator, though. So anyway, the next subject, obviously, and she's wrote some of this out. What's interesting is the way she writes out things, especially about Trina K. It's all personal. She has no concept of legal format, in terms of her writing. I mean, for a while there, I thought, well, she's using these citations. She's doing it proper. She is handwriting it, which isn't the issue. It's just the way she's attacking the situation. And when she talked about Juan Martinez being Trina K's boyfriend and all this and that, it's almost like she wants to pull people into this narrative of how sensational this whole trial's going to be. Because look, she's brought up Juan Martinez and all of this and that. It's so stupid, really. But it goes to show you what's on her mind. I mean, she needs to get with it. She needs to start humping it and get off this bullshit about Juan Martinez or prosecutorial misconduct or, she doesn't want Kay Woodcock there testifying. She can just forget it. Yes, thank you, mods. But now she really wants to focus in her defense, y'all. She wants to focus in, and she's focused in more than once on this. She wants to be wearing street clothes with no handcuffs or leg irons or whatever the hell those things are. She obviously is going to get her way on that. Why bring it up again? But what's kind of giving me the fuzzies about it is that the law enforcement, the sheriff's department there, kind of made a statement saying that, hey, I'm sorry, but, we have to make sure that things are safe in the courtroom. So they have brought up this thing about a stun belt. A stun belt, which can be hidden from view. And she wears it, and if she tries to get away or hurt somebody, which y'all know she ain't, she's brought up in her thing, I behaved myself in Idaho. I went through a whole trial, and I was such a good defendant. I didn't cause any issues. Oh, no. She just, at her trial, was sitting there laughing, chatting, bouncing up and down. Her pre-trial was disgusting, the way she acted. Y'all remember the way she acted when Chad and her were in the courtroom at one time together? They came in pre-trial before they split the case there between Chad and Lori. And how stupid she acted. She acted so stupid. JoJo says that Lori needs a matching collar, I think. She's high class, remember? She's obviously, that's common sense, y'all. Have y'all ever seen a high-profile case where the defendant wore jail stuff? I haven't. They always wore street clothes to me, so, I understand you got to request it and emotion and all that, but she's already talked about that before. She's already talked about that before, so I don't know why she's bringing it up again. You know, it's going to be a long trial. Kresha says, been here listening while trying to get my materials ready for this evening. Still no phone, but won't be much longer, I hope. Lori is a hooker. Yes, Kresha K. Easton of Difficult Research. Think about it, difficult research. Type it into the YouTube. You'll get her. She is a family member. That was her uncle, Charles Vallow. Her mother's Kay Woodcock, Larry Woodcock. That they're all family there. This Kresha K. Easton has got it going on. Okay? If you want to absolutely get the real deal, not just somebody regurgitating like I do, because I love to chat and I love to be with all of y'all. She is the deep diver. She's the one that absolutely has made her way through the rabbit hole, y'all. I'm telling you what, Kresha K. Easton of Difficult Research, and she is the one. Absolutely, I give Kresha all the credit in the world that old KJ started calling Lori a hooker because of Kresha. Kresha brought it up one time. It was funny as hell. I couldn't stop myself, and now I can't think of her anything other than a hussy and a hooker. All Things Possible says, I like your channel. Where can I bring myself up to speed on this trial so I can understand the chat? All Things Possible, go to Kresha K. Easton of Difficult Research. She's got a gigantic catalog of everything that has to do with the Chad and Lori Daybell case. Ultimately, you should go probably, if you're just going to deal with Charles Vallow, that's a good place to go. Nate Eaton of East Idaho News, along with Justin Lum from Fox 10 there. I would love to sit here and tell you that you're going to get up to speed here on KJ and the Ray, but KJ and the Ray is just all a bunch of us researching, analyzing. And yes, there are absolutely a lot of pre-records and lives on here, but for the most part, the Rays and I have been through it for 5 years, and we're here to support the family also, with our time, our money, anything that we have that we can help Kresha with, we'll do. She's going to be going to Arizona, last I heard. I don't know that that's changed, and that would be the place to go. Laura Vaga says, Matthew chapter 11, verse 28, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Jesus loves you. And that's beautiful. Thank you, Laura. Canyon Jam says, difficult research. There are many out here sending you love and strength and support. Yeah, but the problem with that, Kresha, is my word, it's you never know from day to day what I'm going to do. I'm not going to change my words. I do have purpose, but I think it really comes down to community and justice through understanding, and it's important. It's everyone on here is important. This is not my channel. This is everyone's open channel. This is an open channel. This is all it is. Sometimes it's a form of amateur talk therapy. I mean, if you're having a bad day, all you have to do is come and look at this ugly mug and listen to me and watch me make a fool of myself. I'm good at it. Makes a person feel better about, damn, look at this woman online. She is rich. And I don't mean wealthy rich. I'm talking about silly. Jason Bender says, so what you're saying is that you're the next Oprah Winfrey of YouTube. I don't know. Oprah, she broke the glass ceiling there, you know. Oprah stands in a class all her own, but just remember this. According to Lori and Chad, Oprah was a dark entity. She was a dark portal entity, y'all. Remember Oprah was one of the dark spirits or something. How crazy. Oh, Lord. So, Lori is going to continue. There are still some outstanding motions that Nate said he was going to try to get to again, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. Folks, y'all remember what we did? We've done for the last 5 years, every single legal document. I just don't think I've got the strength in me to go over every single legal document. I just don't have it in me anymore. What I do have in me is this desire to get justice through understanding of someone who doesn't have a clue about how to represent herself, and I get to watch it in action along with all of y'all. It's going to be awesome. And let me just say this, I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 99.999% positive that the trial, when it does get released and stuff, will be released on Difficult Research. Y'all can go to Court TV, Law and Order, Law and Crime, or whatever the heck, the big corporations. Go to a YouTube creator, someone who's taking time, especially go to one that's a victim family member. That's where you need to go. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but if you really want it, really want to watch it where it counts. That's what I'm going to do. Just me, you wouldn't have wanted to see that. Trust me. It was crazy. Wayne dumped a big tea pitcher of water on my head as I pulled the gherkin. It was like a gherkin pickle on a string. I pulled it, and the water went all over me. I had an 80s aerobic outfit on with green armbands and a headband. Lori's long hair. I was trying to be sexy like Lori tried to do, because we're never going to know what her stupid ass dance video to Chad was. Wouldn't it be neat if that was released to the public? I mean, was she twerking? Was she doing the splits and sticking to the floor and had to call somebody to get a freaking damn crowbar to get her dang flappy, up off the floor? The sliminess of it. Candy Jam says, the hooker acting like a lawyer will be like watching someone without a pilot's license try to fly a plane. Watch for the fireball. Right, Leanne Forsberg. She better keep a good set of those 2x4s with her. I don't think she's going to need them, though. Lori might need to... She's going to learn how to do things differently now that she's not with her husband, Chad. When she goes to Pocatello Women's Prison. I've already covered it. I'm not going to go down that road again. It was what was it? Dr. Doris Clitoris told everybody about life in prison. What it's like. Emily, I'm from Tennessee. Just old country girl, run of the mill. Glad that people are able to join in with a Porch Talk. Leanne Forsberg says, I remember that. Cindy Arnold says, I go to Cresh's channel all the time. Yes, I do too. I just don't always get on the chat thing. I just sit and listen. Because, I have not listened to every single live she's done. But I have absolutely been there many, many times, just in the background listening. Right, Vix Tex. Takes a little imagination, but it's a lot of fun to make up these characters. Or to pretend to be Lori. Can y'all imagine the skits that are going to come out of all this? Actually, the idea to do that dance with "She's a maniac, maniac." That was when Krisha was talking about it a while back. It just popped in my head. I'm like, oh my gosh. So that outfit I was wearing that some of y'all don't know, will never see again, that was actually a costume. It wasn't meant to be. I mean, it was an 80s costume. Thank you, Krisha. I appreciate that. Krisha says, thanks for showing me the value of this community. It's been important for all of us who are seeking justice to understanding. It's important work, though. And listen, the bottom line on all of this is there's going to come a point where she is going to get convicted in Arizona and be sent back to Pocatello. And according to the Pocatello Women's Prison and the whole prison system there in Idaho, they're not going to ever allow her an interview. And I know a lot of people would love to hear her interview just out of the sick curiosity of how this clown would. She's a freak show. I mean, it's fascinating. But I didn't. I did not watch the Keith Morrison interview. I just listened to what the Rays had to say about it. Oh, it was so funny. I'll show you one day, Krisha. One day I'll show you. It's set on private. I first of all, I used that song, so it was a copyright. But it was just too tempting for me not to do it. I knew that I was going to get some smiles out of it. I knew that it was performance art. And I wanted to do it. It felt like the right time to do it, and I did. And then I went off the deep end after that and talked about all these life issues and things. Maybe somebody got something out of it. Maybe somebody taught me something, educated me. I like to believe that. VixTech says, toxic as F. Well, I'm glad that it's very therapeutic for you, Canyon Jam. I always, just like I said yesterday, if I come across negative, or if you get this weird negative feeling from me, please go somewhere else. Somebody, I mean, if you're getting negativity off of me by sitting here listening to me right now, please just, somebody needs to go, go somewhere else, because I don't need it. And neither does anyone else on this channel. Terroristic terrestrial being is what Lori is, says Krisha. Research fading is why Idaho wants her back quickly. What does that mean? Research fading is why Idaho wants her back quickly. I don't understand. Krisha says Lori's home awaits her. I have not met anyone in the comments as passionate about Lori going back to Pocatello Women's Prison than Canyon Jam. Canyon Jam is ready to bring Lori back to Idaho. Give Lori the full meal deal, supersize that shit, and let her enjoy nothing, because she ain't going to. Luke James says, hello, difficult research. Canyon Jam says, Idaho will silence the hooker in a lifer cell and no more movement. Again, I want to thank Fancy Nancy, Canyon Jam, and let's see, who else on here? Just me. Thank you so much. Y'all know that Ole KJ can't control who comes on here. And I just appreciate it because I'm thinking of y'all. I'm thinking of y'all and your experience on here. I mean, you don't get the graphics, you don't get the latest and greatest news from Ole KJ, but you do get a real friend. A real friend in this world inside of a world. Vix Tech says, supersize it. Precious says, if there's something I've learned from the rabbit holes is that they always attack one's character because they have nothing of sustenance to sling back at the prosecution. Well, I'm going to tell you what. Why in the world, y'all? Think about it. Just use your common sense. We come from all different experiences in our life. I just would like to know, why even bring up Juan Martinez? Because Juan Martinez got in trouble after the Jodi Ayers trial and she's trying to equate Trina K to that? How does she know that Trina K would do something like Juan Martinez has done? I mean, it's stupid, really. Like somehow, your boyfriend, he got in trouble, so that means you're going to get in trouble too. And I'm accusing you of all this shit, but I have nothing to back that up with. And in fact, when I read your response, it's going to show me that I'm a dumbass, right? Yes, JoJo. She said that in court. That was the first time I knew that, was that Lori was on lockdown 23 hours a day. I'm so happy about that. I'm just so happy about it. Because one thing, we talked about it, the freedom and all of the things, that she could just up and go wherever she wanted to go and all of that. She'll never have that again. Virginia Lopez, everything that I've been saying all this time, people think, oh, that's hyperbole. KJ's just trying to be dramatic and all this. I believe in demon possession. But I also believe she and Chad both invited it, knowing what it was. That's what I believe. Janelle Murphy, no more Jolly Ranchers. I guarantee you that she got her a highlighting kit or something before her interview with Keith Morrison. She got her makeup. I mean, she can pack that shit on all she wants. I mean, gosh, y'all look at me. I'm an older woman. I'm growing older, okay? I know what I look like. What I'm saying is she is trying to be all that she thinks her value is. And her value in her own mind is her looks. She gets uglier and uglier. If you didn't know her to be a serial killer and you just saw her out here, you might think halfway decent looking. But when you look back before she did all this murdering, she was beautiful. She was vibrant. She looked healthy. She did, in my opinion. But this is what murderers, just think. Her hands are stained spiritually, as far as I'm concerned, with the blood of her children. I mean, have to live like that. She can sit there all she wants and say, I wasn't there, Keith. That's so sad for you to ask me, was I there when my children died? Well, would it matter? Would it matter whether she was there or not? Would it make it any less devastating to the families? Would it make it any less evil for her not to have been there? It just shows how, let's just for sake of argument, she wasn't there. And Alex and Chad, or Alex, murdered the children. Okay? Does that make her any less culpable? Those were her children. She was their mother. Does she not have anything inside of her that says, oh, I've got to protect my children? And don't give me none of this bullshit about, well, she thought she, in her twisted, evil mind, or mental state and all that she thought she was saving her kids from zombies. That's a crock of shit. That's a crock of shit. Think about how she treated Charles before he was murdered. If she was so convinced that Charles was Hiplos or Ned, why would she agree to let Charles come over and take JJ to school? Would you let a demon, a freaking dang evil ass demon, if you really believe that, to come even near your child? I don't think so. The woman is freaking nuts. And I don't mean mentally. I mean, she's just it just aggravates me. Does Lori get financial help from the outside? Well, Big Sticks, I wonder if Lori got money for doing her Keith Morrison interview. I don't know. Does anybody know? But you can be damn sure, Summy and Emma there. Emma's supposed to put so much money, a month on her stepmom's account. Ugh, it's disgusting. Difficult Research says we need to pull FOIA docs requests and see if we can gain any info while they're in Arizona. I'll be able to request one soon. Well, good. I'm glad. You know what's very interesting, y'all, as I sit here on my porch with my friends on this open channel, that there are people that come on here that absolutely all they're doing is mirroring with their comments how they feel about themselves. Think about that. Think about, all the nasty, mean things that people say. It's only an expression of them. That's the kind of expression they have to offer. That's what they have. And I feel bad for them. I really do. It hurts my heart because I know that every human being has the potential to do good and express good things, to help others. I know I should just me, but there's a part of me that has to reach out. If it was all about just reaching out to people that were nice to me, that's a wonderful thing, and you should surround yourself with people that care or that are positive. That's a plus. But sometimes you got to go out on a limb, put your neck out on the line in hopes that something will snap or something will click for someone and maybe they'll realize. And it wouldn't be because I did anything. And I don't want to know if I do anything to help anyone. All I want to do is this world that I'm living in, I want to see it a better place. Not just from my point of view, because everyone has a different point of view. I want to see people be themselves. And there are times that when people are themselves, they're real assholes. I've been one. So, Well, I'll tell you what, Kresha, when you say they feed off the energy that comes from you when you do acknowledge them, trust me on this, if you give nothing, they starve. Well, I'll tell you, I know I've got a lot of energy. And hopefully, down the road, or maybe it's already happened, my energy has helped someone else. And I don't have to know what that is. JoJo says Cresha's live is tonight, everyone, and we'll all be there. I'll put it on the community wall, Cresha. So I'm going to close my porch talk by saying this. Wayne and I are going to Normandy. We're leaving, was it the 4th through the 9th? We're going to take the boat out for the first time, y'all. We're taking Opie. Opie's never been on the boat. He's going to have his own life jacket and everything. And we're going to go down there with the RV, and we're going to spend the week there. And I'm going to be coming to y'all from the RV and or outside or wherever, the campfire, whatever. And we're going to go through this. I'm going to be going and visiting Cresha at Difficult Research because I know she'll absolutely have that trial going. Opening statements is on April 7th, so we'll be there that weekend. And then, let's see, the 4th, 5th, 6th, that Monday. Remember, Fridays, they won't have court. We're going to see Lori do her opening statement. Cresha says, I think Lori is a narcissist. She's an energy vampire because she's so chaotic and she literally sucks the life out of you if you let her. Same for the trolls, in my opinion. Excuse me. I hope so, Sharon. I hope so. And I don't have to know, and I don't want to know. Because you know what happens when a person realizes they're doing any good at all? They tend to want to pat themselves on the shoulder, and I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be that way. Yes, my birthday's April the 8th, though. That's the day after opening statements, Cresha. So, yes, I'll probably do something silly and stupid for the raise on here on my birthday like I do every year. Whenever we have these major holidays, which my birthday isn't a major holiday, but y'all know when we do Valentine's, Christmas, stuff like that, Thanksgiving, whatever. KJ always wants to be there for the people, the ones that are mostly by themselves, that are alone. Those are the people I want to reach out to on my birthday because I know how it feels. I know exactly how it feels to be all alone. You're sweet, Sharon. I appreciate that. I do. So, everyone on here, the Rays and others, remember Cresha's going to have her live stream this evening. I would love to see y'all in the comments over there because I'm going to be in the comments and I'll put it on the community wall. And I want y'all to know that I love you very much and I appreciate you taking time out of your precious life to hang out with me over this and that and that and this. And just to let you know that, you know, sitting on this porch with all of you, it feels good. It's wonderful. I thank you for your time. Y'all have a great day. Thank you, Just Me, Fancy Nancy, Canyon Jam, and other mods that might be on here. Thank y'all so much for taking time to help out and everything. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Denise Gray. Hi, Alex. I'm not a granny yet. One day I hope I will. I hope one day I become a grandmother. That's my biggest hope. In terms of my own personal life, I'd love to hold a grandbaby. So maybe that will happen for me. I turn 54 here in about 2 weeks. So I love all of y'all. Thank y'all for being here. And thank y'all for letting me rattle on about whatever. You know, y'all just always accepted me and treated me kindly. You've allowed me to be myself. You've allowed me to, you know, do stupid shit and silly stuff and keep you guessing kind of things. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And y'all have a great day and keep on looking.